You ready? Okay. Here we are, Lily's first day for training. Wanted to see what she's like before we start training. The trainer, or the owner, said that she wasn't good on the leash, that she pulled a lot, and as you can see, she does. And also really scared. So out in public, protective of her. You can see how she is. We're gonna go over here just for another minute or so to show you how she is out in public with people walking past, and you can come closer. I'm going to try to just do a little sit-stay and down-stay here. See how nervous she is just with all the noises and the people. So if I say out here, if I say sit, okay, well that's pretty good, but she's not going to do any stay. You can tell that she's definitely nervous. Down, she has no down. If I say come, she's too scared here. She's too scared to really do much. You can see she's panting. She's panting because she's nervous. So this is her first day, and then we're going to come back here when we're done, and we're going to, she's getting more and more nervous as more people show up. And then when we're done, we're going to show you what she's like after the training. Sit. We're having Lily sit at every boundary. This gate is the toughest one for her because it's a boundary that leads out into the street. It's kind of windy today, blowing the gates closed. So you see how I had her sit? I'm gonna walk her closer. Okay, sit. Make sure you can see her at the threshold here. See how she waits? I do this at the front doors. You can walk around your house in every doorway. Have her sit like this. So she sits, you step through, she waits till you come back. Just walk around your house and do this. It's a great exercise. It's a great calming exercise for the dog, and enables you to practice with her and get comfortable with the sit stays, and just with her, both of you being comfortable with the new way of handling her. Okay, see, if you make her sit and wait at boundaries, after a while she just starts to anticipate that she's going to be sitting and waiting. Okay, here's another boundary. Sit. Curbs, really important boundaries. And we take a walk every day and go to different places, just so she will start being comfortable, being more comfortable everywhere. You can give her a treat. Like I just tapped her lightly to get eye contact. Good, see that? I don't always give her a treat for sitting at curbs, but or boundaries, but if it's a difficult one, like out in public, maybe the first one you sit at, just start off the whole, just to start the ball rolling, give her a treat. Doesn't mean you have to do it the next time. Okay, because we've been phasing the treats out, and that's what, of course, we always do. Once the dog is good at something, you don't need treats anymore. So we're going to go across the street, and I'm exaggerating the slowness, but this really helps. There's noise happening behind us. She's very skittish still, of course. She came that way, as you know. But you see, when you walk slow, the dog slows down. And all I'm really having to do is tap, even though she's nervous. Okay. But if you don't walk slow, the dog's never going to slow down. The dog's going to be pulling you. So we get to the other side, sit. And here's where the walk starts. Pat her chest and say, go. And then if she goes to the end of the leash, you just tap it, which she will, you know, come. Or you have your recall. If she starts pulling, I'm gonna stay where the camera can see me. Good. And it does take to have a great recall. Now go to your right and show this dog that's walking right there. And the dog's barking. Show Lily. So Lily's looking at the dog. I would say, come. Call her away from all distractions. She came with quite an issue of barking at dogs and not being great on the leash with other dogs, but if you practice the appropriate response to a situation, which is in our situation here, any distraction, person, dog, anything that you're able to call her away from, you're just practicing making her come command really, really good. And then you start seeing her become desensitized to those things you've been calling her away from, because keep in mind, it's always the same thing. It's come, you call her away, good. She hears that command, she turns away from that distraction, she moves away from it towards you, and you become the center of the universe if you keep doing this. she changes her perception of what her job to do is out here. Now her job to do is like, oh, there's one, come back, get paid. There's another one, come back, get paid. And that replaces the inappropriate response of barking, pulling, all the craziness that we had before. It makes for a much calmer dog, and it's so much easier for you to manage in that way. All you have to do, you see somebody coming, another dog, come, call her to come to you. If you back away, good. If she comes to you, you can take the leash with your left hand and do that little left turn and get going, get out of there if you need to. So it's a process, obviously. It's taken a number of years for her to develop these issues, so not bad for a couple of months of practicing this. You just, if you can, keep practicing whatever these moves you're able to do, and those problems keep fading away, and this kind of behavior takes over. And one more thing about the leash. The leash is always loose, no matter where you are. The leash is always loose. If she pulls ahead of you, actually keep this over your left hand, keep the loop over your wrist so you never can lose her. And you're gonna have to be vigilant when you go out in public, because she's gonna see something, a squirrel or a cat or a person with a dog or who knows what it is. If you're not watching, she could take off that way, and if you're not watching, she could, hurt your arm, hurt your shoulder or something like that. So when you're on a walk with her, because of her issues that are still there, although they're getting less and less and less as you practice handling her differently in this way, but it's still there. So when you're out walking her, you need to stay vigilant, keep this leash loose, because a tight leash, or letting her pull you around like that with a tight leash, or going like this, or going like this, people don't even realize it, but they're going like this, but you really need to, that's why I make the video, watch the video. My arm is I'm never doing this. Okay, I'm doing this, I'm tapping straight back, I'm tapping, using my body to turn, which draws the dog back next to you. Sit, you can always have her do a little sit. She has that nervous tick that she has whenever you have her sit in a stressful situation. She'll itch herself like that almost every time. It's interesting. Or you could practice down, never go down. Maybe one time a day on the street or somewhere new, just randomly practice what I just did, a sit stay and then a down stay. You don't have to go from a sit stay to a down stay. I just happen to do it that time. Good, and giving her a little reward, a little treat there. You could go straight from standing up, free time, into a down or a sit, whatever you want to do. But just randomly do something like this every day, because it keeps pushing the envelope. If she continues to do this training in a new place, and it could even be in your house, a new room, a new corner of the yard, just whatever you can do, the front driveway, in your garage, if that's where you're going to start out, which I think you will, where it's really easy, where you control the level of distractions, where nobody can surprise you. You keep pushing the envelope and practicing your training in new spots makes the dog's training better, instead of doing it always in the same place. Okay, sit, go. Now she's free. We can start our walk, and we're going to keep that leash loose and have a nice leisurely, relaxed walk. We're on our walk here, and we're going to a super busy place, and actually we did a before video here, so we'll be able to watch the before video and see how she was the first day she came here, and then show you now what our practicing has done. We've gradually taken her out into busy places, and this is a Saturday. It's the busiest day. It can get crazy. She still is nervous, but you see how if she wants to pull somewhere, I'm just going to tap it and release it. Tap and release. You can't really see her because of this. This is blocking it, but we're going to cross the street. Okay, let's go. She's not on the clock. She is on free time. And we're just going to put her, why don't you stand here, and I'm going to go over there, right here actually, and do some basic training. Sit. This is right where people walk past, just to show you she actually can focus. Even though she's looking around, people are walking past, there's a person right there, people are going to walk past here, she can still focus and stay in a sit stay. In a difficult situation, if you are going to practice this, hey, look, you can give her a treat. Hey, you want a treat? You see how it's controllable now because she'll still do the training, but she's still nervous. She's a nervous dog. And you know, practicing this kind of stuff to make her be like this super calm, confident dog would take a while, but you see how, nope. And of course I never stand here talking like this, so she's not used to it. Usually it's a quick sit, stay, down, stay, and then we're off to something else. But you see how she's a lot more comfortable. At least she can do the training here, even though she's nervous. So all we've been doing is we've been practicing in the presence of some pretty big distractions with her, as you can see right here, people walking past and stuff. And you always want to end on success. Okay, sit and go. Now she's on free time here. It's always harder if she's nervous to have her focus at a high level and stay in a sit, stay, or down stay as there's a bunch of distractions. So that's the hardest thing for her to do. If you ever end up taking her to a place where there's a lot of people and a lot of distractions like this, then, and I'm just trying to get closer to them so you can see how she is, keep her on a loose leash. Really your go-to command is somebody walks up or walks past, she gets scared, come, call her to come to you. Good girl, and maybe move her to the side like that, something like that. But right now she's at the point where you can take her to these places, but you always want to end her interaction with a place like this quickly and not stay for a long time, because she can only handle short periods of time now before she starts getting scared and nervous. And you never know what somebody's going to do, come up behind you, try to touch her or something like that in a busy place like this. So we're gonna just hang out here for another minute or two and let some other distractions go past. Good girl, it's okay. Yeah. We have this dog barking at us. You know, we've been practicing on the street a lot, so I call her away from all distractions. This is the result of calling her away constantly. Come, I can always call her away. Good girl, which I usually do, but you handle her a certain way on a leash out in public. No tight leash, no tension, always using your recall, waiting and stopping at boundaries, and the dog really starts to become way less reactive, as you can see, not even caring right now. A little bit scared, but not aggressive, not barking. But you know, with Lily, it's just any kind of stimulation is just too much and she starts getting spooked. But you keep the leash loose and it keeps it under control. And of course, you never want to just like hang out in a situation like this. I'm just showing you what she's like now if she's kind of forced to stay right in a difficult situation. But you never want to do what I'm doing here. You just want to kind of call her to come and keep moving. Come on, let's go. Here we go. We're doing this greeting routine with Lily. Sit. We're walking her up to the person. We're doing it outside. Never do it inside the house. Leave them out on neutral territory. Step over to the person. Give the person the treat. She waits till you come back. Always keep the leash loose. If she pops up, tap her like that. She'll go back. Go say hi. Come. And then call her to come to you. Good. Sit. Go say hi. Come. Good. Sit. Last time here, you can even, after you practice for a while, she gets used to doing this with you and vice versa. You can practice a sit stay before you send her over. Just develops a higher level of focus for her. Go say hi. Come. Good. That's the greeting routine. Okay, we're going to walk her up to this mat. We're going to say sit. See how she's waiting? Make sure that you're not restraining her, because that if there's a tight leash, it'll make her more nervous. So you're never doing this. You're always keeping it loose. If she pops up, you tap it and release, and she'll go back. She's waiting. Go to your mat, down, Notice I sent her over and I walked over with her and I said down when she was there. And you can just practice this simple little down stay exercise when she's on the mat and give her treats while she's on the mat. Practice walking around her. And then giving her a reward if she stays down. Good. You can even practice harder things, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to leave the yard, go through some gates, and she'll show me where I'm going, and then go back to her and show her. So I'm going out here, and then you can show her. I'll show you where I'm going now. I'm going to go outside and show her. Now coming back. That was very good, so she gets a nice big reward. Good. And then I'm going to go over there, so you're going to show me walking over there. Make sure you're showing her. Gets a big reward for that. Good. If she ever pops up, so if she stands up, stay calm, there's no correction. You just stay calm, pick up the leash, you say no, and you put her back. You already said down one time, never repeat the command. And if let's pretend she made a mistake. Okay. Sit. Go. So let's pretend that she got up, maybe I left the yard or I went somewhere and she popped up and I want to put her back. I'd say no, I'd take the leash, I'd step into her like this, reset her. Don't say down because you already said down one time. So she's waiting to be released. And as you can see, she's got a great downstay at this point. The only way she gets out of a downstay, she waits for you to walk next to her. Okay, sit and go. When I'm practicing calling her to come, and she's on a leash of course, I'm always going to have the leash over my left wrist, so my hand's free. And I'm going to call her to come to me. I'm always calling her away from something, she's never staring at me. So maybe she's going to stare at you, toss a little distraction. Come! Call her to you. Good. So you see how I back away? Even if you back away just a little bit, it still draws the dog to run to you. Standing still is only half as good when you're practicing. But if you practice this way, go. Come. Good. Then later on in an emergency, if you can't back away, she's still going to run to you because of how you practiced. So we'll do that again. Go. Come. Good. She comes right back to me because when I practice, I always back away, which makes her want to run to me. So that's why when you're practicing on a leash, you always back away. Even a couple of steps really helps you. Better than standing still. I always call her this target. Keep your hand closed, because when you don't have rewards in an emergency, if you've been doing this or this, something like that, she's going to see it's empty because you're not going to have treats on you in an emergency, most likely. So always call her to this closed target. Come! Her nose touches it, your hand opens, gives her the treat, your other hand grabs a leash so that you have control over her. So that if you practice this way with a reward, whenever you don't have a reward, come! See, there's no food in here. Good girl, good. And I can do it over and over again with no food. I can throw some food on the ground. Come! Call her away. Good girl. Over and over again, she'll come to this. Always practice with food so that when you don't have it, it'll always work, and it could save her life someday, you know? She could, God forbid, she's going out into the street. All you have is this, there's no leash. You call her to come, you back away, come! Like that. Good girl. She's going to come running because of the way you practiced with the leash and with the reward. Sit. You saw I did this little circle before I had her sit. It's a great move to do if you can do it, because it's a dominant move, but it perfectly sets her up to do a sit stay. Okay, or down. Good. Sit stay or down stay. So if you're going to do a sit stay or down stay and you have the room to do it, do that little circle. At the end of the circle, you see it's a full circle. Say down or sit, and she'll go right there. That stepping into her is a very dominant move, but it's a dominant move that makes her feel safe and feel like you're in charge. And it's very easy to do. Okay, you can just always be walking into her. Using your body keeps the leash loose. So you can walk into her and go anywhere, and she'll go with you. Sit. So that's a good move to practice whenever you can. We're back to the sit. You don't have to say stay, because she knows that when you say sit, it means to stay. You can practice a little sit stay like that. You can reward her coming back next to her. Eye contact. See that? She's looking at me. Straight down. Good. And then to release her, you can either pat her chest and say, go, and she's free, or if you want to walk with her, you can say, okay, and she'll walk with you.